This is going to be an elongated bridge for hamstring activation. We're going to get a lot of length in the front of the body or the anterior chain with some overhead work. And we're going to do adduction at the lower limbs and the upper limbs with a yoga block and a foam roller. If you just have yoga blocks, that's fine. If you just have foam rollers, that's also fine. Whatever you can stick between the knees. You could also use a pillow. You might want something a little harder for the upper body portion. But anyway, in a traditional bridge, we would have the heels pretty close. And for this one, we're gonna have the heels pretty long. On top of that, we're also gonna have the big toe and heels touching, snugging slightly together. We're gonna have the balls of the big toe snugging down and not popping up like this or supinating. We're gonna keep the feet flat. We're gonna add the block at the knees, and we're just gonna press it enough to hold it. Imagine you're holding a small puppy. You don't wanna drop the puppy, but you don't wanna squeeze the puppy too hard. And then we'll have this nearby. We'll set the bottom up first. So the first thing is snug all those bottom pieces. Snug the foam roll or the yoga block. And then what we're gonna do is think of, if we had a big Texas belt buckle on, we're gonna tip it back towards our chin. So we're gonna get a little bit of that posterior backside of the body pelvic tilt here. And from this position, we're just gonna lift the hips as far as we can until it starts to undo its pelvic tilt. So again, ball the big toe down together, heels down, pull yourself to those feet as well. Snug the block, don't break it. Pelvic tilt, lift as high as you can without losing the pelvic tilt. So that in of itself is gonna be a lot of work down here. There's gonna be a lot of hamstring, a lot of inner thigh. There shouldn't be any low back with this. If you're getting a lot of low back tension with this, hit us up in the comments and we can help you out. Now once this is all dialed in, we go into our zombie arms up to the ceiling, palms slightly pressing into the foam roller. Again, we're just holding, not pushing as hard as we can. Straight elbows, not bent. And then we're just gonna exhale, reach behind us, keeping everything downstairs, nice and gripped, locked in, steady. We're gonna hold behind us for 3 deep breaths, keeping the pelvic tilt in all of our little snug spots, all of our anchors. Light pressure into the palms, into the foam roller. You can increase over time if it feels comfortable, but we don't want to overdo it. We're trying to get a long hold here. So endurance is key. Light holds of the anchors is key. We want to elongate and experiment with holds. So that's pretty intense. Again, second portion of this exercise is we're not trying to get everything dialed in and full intensity. So we don't want to squeeze the yoga block too hard, and we don't want to push the ball of the toes down too hard as well. We don't want to squeeze the crap out of the foam roller and reach as hard as we can. We want this to be a light hold so that we can hold it long enough to experiment with what's working, shift between the hamstrings and the glutes, feel the abs and the rib connections on those exhales. But we're gonna go over one more variation here. Balls of the toes together and down, heels pressed down, lightly snug with the foam roller. Again, using the heels and feet to kind of pull ourselves together so it activates the hamstrings a little more. We're gonna lift with the tilt of the pelvis. Don't lose the pelvic tilt. Press slightly into the foam roller, straight arms. Exhale, reach back. We're gonna hold. You're gonna try to hold for 1 to 3 minutes and just see where this is coming from. What's active, what's overactive, underactive, and play around, explore. Focus on the breath and holding this for about 60 seconds. Again, hips don't go so high that we lose the pelvic tilt. So, again, try to go for long holds, explore, see what's working, what's underworking. See if you can shift around which muscles are overworking, underworking. And yeah, just experiment with that. We're getting lots of length and adduction there. And I would go through, 3 rounds, aiming for 30 to 90 second holds. And 2 to 3 minute holds would work as well. Main thing is to just get a lot of time spent under a light anchored, big, dynamic position like that. Stand up after, shake your legs out, walk around, see if your posture feels a little different, see if anything that was tight before is now loose, or vice versa. If something's tightened up, drop a comment, and maybe we need to work on some other things. Thanks for watching, and give this a try.